Hello. First off, I hope you, your friends, and family are all in good health and doing well. Just wanted to make a video on cover some of the work that I've already completed in my re-landscaping project. I still have plenty of work to do, but I just wanted to give you a partial tour all in this area here that's already been completed. First one is going to be this ice cream banana. It's been in the ground for about 8 months. I don't think I'll have any bananas this season, but I should have some hopefully next year. I don't have a video on this one yet, but I do have a couple of videos on the, I have a Cavendish dwarf banana that rendered some fruit, and it had a pretty good harvest, so I went ahead and did a video on it. If you search my channel, Zone 10A Backyard Orchard, you can find those videos on there. You'll also find videos on the majority of the fruit trees I'm about to show you. Next to the ice cream banana is my grapefruit trees. That's an Oro Blanco on the left and a Rio Red on the right. They've only been in the ground for about 6 months. The Rio Red is starting to set a small amount of buds. Not too many, just a few. I have another one in a planter that's doing much better. I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, the next ones here are my Satsuma on the left, Moro Blood Orange on the right. The Mandarin is looking a little sad. It produced a pretty large crop this last season. I planted it shortly after the harvest, so I think it may have been a little fragile and may have gone through a little transplant shock. Both of these trees have only been in the ground for about 3 months. Mandarin is looking a little better than it was about a month ago, so I'm sure it will recover. And I also have a video on the there's actually 2 videos on the Mandarin. One is for the harvest, and then the other is how it was actually planted in this section here. Next here are my Cara Cara and Eureka Lemon. These have only been in the ground for about 2 months. I have previously posted videos on the Cara Cara. Both of these trees are doing really well, but as you can see, the Cara Cara has really put on a lot of flowers. I got a really small crop on this last season when it was growing in a 15-gallon container, so I'm hoping now that it's in the ground it'll do much better. It's lost quite a bit of fruit that was starting to set, as you can see, on the ground, but that should be normal. I mean, there's just so many that it produced. Had to shed off quite a few, so I'm hoping it'll wind up with a pretty good harvest. The Eureka is also doing pretty good. It's starting to put on a few buds, as you can see here, and it still has a few lemons from its last fruit set. Over here, these are my pink Barbie guavas. I've also got the previously posted video on these. They've only been in the ground for a couple of months. They're still relatively young. Last season they produced about 12 to 14 guavas between both of them, and you can check out the videos on my channel on these. It's got a little bit of new growth that's coming in. They're doing well. All these trees I just went over are all going to be grown and trained as Espalier trees in this whole section here. This next section here is my high density planting area. These are all planted about 2 feet apart in a triangular shape. I have previously posted videos on my channel on how all of these trees were planted, and also how the ground was prepped for this planting area. This first group here, I have a Pitomba on the front, ice cream bean on the left, and Grumichama on the right. The ice cream bean is starting to recover from some cold damage. It's starting to put out a little new growth. It should recover. The Pitomba is doing pretty good as well. As is the Grumichama, putting out some new leaves. It's doing pretty good. This is the first time I've ever grown either one of these trees here. I'll be posting follow-up videos on these if and when they start to produce fruit. I'll put more detailed information on each one of these. These here are my mango trees. That's a coconut cream in the front, a cherry mango on the right, and a Glen mango there on the left, the smaller one of the whole bunch. With the exception of the Glen, they're all doing pretty good, putting on plenty of buds, flower buds. These trees are still a bit young, and they've only been in the ground for about a month. So I might cut off any fruit that may form. I might leave 1 or 2 on each tree just to see what it tastes like if they do reach maturity. As for the Glen, it was much bigger before transplanting and even had some buds forming. It went through a bit of a transplant shock, and the top branches began to dry out. I had to cut it off about here. But it looks like the remaining branches hanging on, so it should do well and recover. These last trees in this section are my persimmon trees. Got the coffee cake in the front, chocolate on the right, and gyro fuyu on the left. The chocolate is just coming out of its dormant period. The others shouldn't be too far behind. Last season, when this gyro fuyu was growing in a 15-gallon container, I harvested about 20 persimmons. I have a previously posted video on that as well. Gyro's a self-pollinating variety. It's a non-astringent. The fruit I harvested off that tree was excellent flavor. I haven't tasted the chocolate or coffee cake, so I can't compare the taste of those to that of the gyro. But I can tell you the taste of the gyro fuyu is the best tasting persimmon I've ever had. I particularly like that you can eat it when it's still firm, like an apple, and get that crunchy sweet flavor, or you can wait until it gets soft while it's still in the tree. At that stage it has an even sweeter, much better flavor. At least I thought it was. The chocolate persimmon is listed as a non-astringent pollination variant, which means it develops its rich, sweet flavor when it's pollinized. The coffee cake persimmon is listed as a best pollinizer. The coffee cake also requires a pollinizer in order to develop that sweet flavor, and the chocolate is listed as the best pollinizer, so these two should do well pollinizing each other. I had a YouTube viewer ask about an update on one of my previously posted videos on this finger lime, so I just wanted to include a quick update. Here you can see some of the fruit is still hanging on from that first set of blooms that this tree's ever produced. They're not doing really well, and I don't think they're gonna hold on. Matter of fact, there was one here on the ground, just fell off, so I don't think they'll hang on and reach maturity. There's several of them still scattered throughout the tree, but the good news is that as you can see, it's putting out new buds, so hopefully the second round will hold on. It's also got new growth coming in. I'll be sure to put a follow-up video on this one if it does set any fruit off this second round of flowers. Here's the other grapefruit tree I was talking about at the beginning of my video. It's a real red semi-dwarf variety. This grapefruit tree is about 4 years old. Its last bloom had about 8 or 9 grapefruits that produced a pretty good size. The harvest before that was only about 7. So it looks like this year is going to be the biggest crop it's ever had. It's got quite a few buds all over the tree. They're just now starting to flower. But it's got quite a few, so hopefully it'll put out a good sized crop this season. I'll be sure to post a follow-up video on this one if and when it does start to set fruit. Well, that's it for this video. My next one will probably be on my stone fruit trees, this section here. It hasn't been planted too long, but this will probably be my next video. It's already got some fruit that's starting to set on some of the branches. Well, that's it for now. If you'd like to follow along in all the projects I got going in my backyard, as you can see, I still got quite a bit of work to do here. If you'd like to follow along, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, stay safe. Hope you're all continue to be healthy and your families and friends are all doing well. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.